Welcome back. You are watching live the presidential debate hosted by NN24. Before the break, we were talking to General Muhammadu Buhari, one of the candidates, about his antecedents and whether, as a former military dictator, he actually has the right to ask Nigerians to vote for him. And unfortunately, we ran into problems with time, so I'd like you to conclude your statement and then we move on.
Well, it's basically it's about the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Every person of the age of 18 and above can aspire to any office, from councillor of a local government to the president. I am using that facility to ask Nigerians to vote for me.
Will you be able to operate as a democratic leader, given your history? Will you be able to work with democratic institutions?
Yes, my antecedents in politics has shown that in 2003, I believe Nigerians know what happened. We lost an election. I didn't go on the street. I went to court and I spent 30 months. In 2007, again, I contested. Again, the Supreme Court was the last call, and it split, the decision of the Supreme Court split the court into two. 3 justices of the Supreme Court said the election was flawed. 3 said it can be managed. Nigeria could not run another election. The Chief Justice then casts the vote for the government then, which means I'm democratic. I spent 15 months in court asking for my right. The elections were rigged, and the international community observer team report and our internal observer team report confirmed that the elections were rigged. I didn't go to the street, I went to the court, and I spent 15 months in court between 2003 and 2008.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to move very swiftly on to Malam Ibrahim Shekaro. Now, Malam Shekaro, Nigeria is a plural society, and yet in the state that you govern, Kano State, the Hisbah, which is the morality police, is known to brutally enforce Sharia, and in the process sometimes trampling on people's rights as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution. How do you reconcile this intolerance with your desire to be the leader of a country as diverse as Nigeria?
Thank you very much. In the first place, I do not agree that the Hisbah was brutalizing and overriding the constitutional right of our citizens. We did not just wake up and create the Hisbah without going through the legislation. We used the same constitutional provision that allowed any state to create any policy, any program, any law that will maintain law and order within the state. The Hisbah is no more than what today you call community policing. We have the Hisbah in virtual evil community. Their duty is to ensure there is peace, there is law abiding, and this is exactly what they do. It is those who violate the rules of the land. And we did challenge anyone, whoever thinks that the Hisbah has done anything to him, contrary to the rules and regulations governing the land, to take his case to the law courts and challenge the creation of the Hisbah. So we didn't just by the wave of the hand created the Hisbah. It went through the legislation. There is law promulgated. In fact, the first item on the law of the Hisbah is to assist the Nigerian police in the maintenance of law and order.
Now, you say that, but in practical terms, the impact of the Hisbah in Kano has included killing a film industry that was providing employment, what is known in Nigeria as Kannywood. So there has been an exodus of filmmakers out of Kano who get harassed when they are on shoots, who have been asked to submit their scripts for inspection, and a total disregard of the people's right to express themselves through art in that particular way.
No, I think it's totally wrong. The Hisbah has nothing to do with the censorship. We have a full-fledged censorship board created by law through the legislation. And the censorship board has created rules and regulations governing the conduct of any film industry. We have a right to decide what is right for the community. A government has the moral responsibility to protect the right, the interest, the aspiration of the society. So all we did was to create, we said, if you want to register and run a film industry, you should comply with A, B, C, D, E, F. And we told anybody who feels that any of these rules and regulations contradicts the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should challenge us in court, and nobody has done that anymore.
Will you be... You seem to be very strong in terms of protecting the rights of the majority. What about the rights of the minority in societies that you govern?
We are protecting. In fact, it may interest you to know that Kano State today is the most peaceful state in Nigeria. If you ask any of the so-called minority or the non-indigenous, they are quite happy, they are quite peaceful. In fact, today, you'll be surprised to find that those you call non-indigenous or even the non-Muslim prefer to go for settlement of disagreement within the community, either to the Hizbah board or to the censorship board. We don't have any problem at all. The rules are working, the society has accepted it, and the film industry is thriving very well. All we're saying is abide by the rules and regulations. And there is no community that will live without guiding principles, without rules and regulations, and think there will be discipline and order in that community.
Thank you, sir. Now, since Nigeria started exploring oil, the benefits have included poverty, environmental degradation, and criminality in the region. Let me start by asking you, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, what will be your solution to these problems?
Come again, ask the question.
Since we started exploring oil, all we have benefited from, particularly for the people of the Niger Delta region, has been poverty, environmental degradation, and in recent times, criminality. How would you address these problems if you are voted and you become the president of Nigeria?
Thank you. The problem of the Niger Delta is also the problem of Nigeria. It is a region that has produced so much, but unfortunately, we've not been able to translate it into development growth. We've neglected that part. We will have to change. We have to, as a matter of urgency, go back. We have seen what this government is doing, creating agencies, making just patronage outfits, and taking care of very few people. Action Congress of Nigeria and my own administration, with my team, will come up with a Marshall Plan. A plan that is going to address the entire and the totality of the problems confronting this region. We are not going to be wasting time with bureaucracies. We are going to ensure the resources that is coming out from there, constitutionally supposed to go to that region, will be channeled and put into addressing those issues. The environment you talk, yes, it has to be addressed. 2, youth employment. Young men and young women who are today almost really being taken out of everything. We have to get back and see that they are given a chance and opportunity for them to contribute. We have to work on the issue of poverty. We must address and then come up with a system that will be able to inject money and make the private sector work in the Niger Delta.
It sounds really good, but these are sort of just really very general plans. Can you be a little bit more specific?